Hi, everyone. Welcome to Ad Age Remotely. I'm Janine Poggi, editor at Ad Age. Thanks for joining us as we continue to count down to Super Bowl 56. The streaming TV landscape has certainly continued to heat up over the past year, and Amazon Prime Video will be returning to the Super Bowl to once again look to stand out in an increasingly crowded marketplace. Joining me today to discuss Prime Video's Super Bowl strategy is its Chief Marketing Officer, Ukanwa Ojo. Hi, Ukanwa.
Hi, Janine. How are you?
I'm
Thanks
good.
for having me.
Of course, thanks for joining us. We're excited to have you here.
Super. I'm pumped. This is fun.
It's
Like
Super
this,
Bowl.
we can
It's
have this
Super
kind
Bowl
of
season.
conversation all day.
So before we get started, for those of you watching at home, if you like what we're doing here on Ad Age Remotely, please like, share, subscribe, or retweet this post. And if you have any questions or comments during this conversation, feel free to leave them on our social channels. We will try to get to them during the conversation. So, Ukanwa, Amazon Prime Video is back in the game. What can you reveal about the commercial plans at this point?
Yeah, we have fun stuff planned, but I can say definitely today that our customers are going to be seeing for the first time our brand storytelling around Thursday Night Football. So we made history by being the first streamer to have an NFL national NFL package streaming next season, and so our ad for TNF on Prime Video is going to be in the Super Bowl, and we are really excited.
That's very exciting stuff. So you're back in the game with Thursday Night Football. Of course, a different route than what you've had in the past, promoting more of the original programming and movies and all of that. What tone are you really looking to strike here? Like, this is a big reveal and a big introduction, certainly for the service. So can you tell us a little bit more about what you're trying to show consumers?
Yeah. So for us, I think we really want to show customers the future of football. The way that we see it is that football, the game really starts that weekend, starts on Thursdays. And so we want people to see Prime Video as that destination for the beginning of the game for the weekend starting in the fall. And so we're going to introduce people to that party atmosphere, that joyous atmosphere, that immersive atmosphere, personalized atmosphere that we know that they're going to experience on our platform come the fall. And we're going to give them a little taste of what we want that to feel like when we have our Super Bowl debut.
Outside of the commercial itself, any other content surrounding it or anything else about the campaign that you can discuss?
Yeah, so we're gonna have it's gonna be a full 360 campaign on social for sure, on our platform, on Prime Video, across a lot of different Amazon platforms as well. We're really excited about the opportunity of introducing TNF on Prime Video to fans, and the timing really couldn't be more perfect, right? Because Super Bowl is football, so you really couldn't get to a more targeted, broad audience for the folks that we want to reach. So yeah, we want to give people a sense of the depth of experience that we're going to be giving them when we start broadcasting the game in the fall.
And certainly this is a bit different than maybe some of the other broad efforts, whether it's during the Super Bowl last year or during award shows or things like that, where you're showing off a lot of different kinds of content. Can you talk about going this route and really promoting one big thing on the platform and what that means in a stage like the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I mean, it's such a huge cultural moment, right? And the NFL is an iconic brand, and Super Bowl is this huge cultural moment. And we thought it was such a great opportunity to introduce people to TNF on Prime Video. Like, football is still the most watched broadcast that we have on television. And we have the opportunity to be kicking that off every Thursday. In the fall, and so we had to take advantage of this this zeitgeist moment to introduce fans to that. It doesn't mean that this is all that we're going to show in the Super Bowl, because we always have fun things up our sleeves. But this is definitely the first reveal of what we'll be sharing with fans.
Can we expect to see any athletes or celebrities or any high profile talent appearing in the spot?
Yeah, it's actually really interesting. We've been working with White and Kennedy on the spot, and for us, we really wanted to focus on the fans. We like to think of our broadcast as the future of football. It's a very personalized experience. It's an experience that takes the broadcast experience and it takes it to a different level. Whether it's with X-ray, where they're able to get personalized next gen stats, for example, they're able to do fan polls, they're able to interact with people and go deeper in football than they have in the past. So for us, we really wanted to make it about the fans because they're the ones who make football what it is, in addition to the players. But on our service, it's a personalized one, and so we want to hero them and their love of football and their experience of football, and so that's really what the spot is going to be celebrating.
What did you learn from last year's Super Bowl efforts? It was the first one for you at Amazon Prime Video. Like, what did you learn from that go ahead to apply to this year's commercial?
That's a great question. So last year we featured Coming to America as we debuted our trailer for Coming to America in the Super Bowl, and it was extremely successful for us. So Coming to America, the movie, was the first time in Nielsen tracking history where a movie topped the Nielsen ratings in streaming for 2 consecutive weeks in a row. And so when we debuted that movie a month later, it was a tremendous success, not only for us, but really in all of streaming. And so when you think about the audience and the scale that you can reach with the NFL, with Super Bowl, it's really there's no competition for that. And so we're excited about bringing really big news with TNF to the audience who's most passionate about football, which is the Super Bowl audience. We're excited about bringing the news to them on that scale as well.
Late last year, you introduced a new tagline, "See Where It Takes You." That campaign, it really highlighted Prime Video as a portal of sorts to Amazon's broader offerings like shopping and reading, among other things. How will that new brand marketing be reflected in the Super Bowl campaign?
That's a great question. Yeah, See Where It Takes You really comes from a place where we recognize that for our people, for our fans, we know that entertainment doesn't end at the credits for them. And we're very unique at Prime Video in that you can extend your love for entertainment, whether it's an X-ray being able to understand more about the experience, whether it's the actors or other work that they've been in that you can enjoy throughout the platform, the ability to shop as an example, the ability to find out what the soundtrack is, what the music is. So there's so much depth to the entertainment experience at Prime Video. And we know that that makes us really unique. And those who stream on Prime Video, like those are the reasons why they love it and they never want to leave. And so for us, that continues to be the brand platform that we use across all of our creative. Is we know that entertainment brings people in, but there's so much about the Amazon experience, so much about the Prime Video experience that makes people stay and makes people loyal, and that's what makes us different. And we'll be following that same customer journey with all of our creative, including this one.
How are you prioritizing diversity, equity, and inclusion in the creation of the Super Bowl spot, both in front of the camera and behind the camera?
I love that question, Janine, because that's something that means so much to me personally. It's really important that our teams reflect the diversity of the communities that we serve and the communities that make up our membership, the communities that make up our subscribers. And so we're very, very intentional about that. And so you'll find that the team heading up sports marketing, Mark Patrick, who's my global head of sports marketing, who is leading the marketing on our side, his team, they really care a lot about diversity, and some of them are diverse themselves, as well as our team at Wyden and Kennedy, also being a diverse team, and just making sure that everybody, and when you look at the talent in front of the camera, which for us will be our fans, which will be, the fans in the stands and the fans who are going to be streaming through us, reflecting how diverse they are as well. So you'll see a full 360 intention and commitment to celebrating everything that makes our community special. And that's the fact that we're all different. And you see that visibly in the creative, and you also see that in the team behind the camera, whether it's the team on the marketing side or the team on the agency side as well.
How does that apply also to like the production crews, the directors, all the people sort of touching the spot? Like, how are you being intentional about who you're also working with and partnering with?
Yeah, I think it's like setting goals for that, is being very intentional about that, is asking the right questions of all the folks who touch the creative, and some of the production we also do in-house with our in-house teams as well, because we have an in-house team and we also work with external partners, and so making sure that we have full diversity throughout the entire journey. And like all brands, like you never get it 100% perfect, but for sure making sure that the intention is there, making sure that the KPIs are there, and making sure that we're holding ourselves accountable to delivering that for our customers.
Creating a Super Bowl ad is always a heavy lift, but especially the last 2 years amid COVID. And I'm wondering, the last COVID surge, did that impact any of your plans at all? Were there any contingency plans in place? Any things that you had to like pivot or change as a result?
I love that question because that's the life that we live every single day. Because for
The
us,
new reality, right? Like that's just
exactly.
inevitable at this point.
When we talk about creativity, it's not just about the advertising, because we're producing the actual shows as well. So when you talk about COVID protocols and making sure that we're doing it in a way that is safe, and that we're always that we're making sure that we're ready to pivot, that's not something that we look at just for our advertising. We're producing shows and movies all over the world simultaneously at the same time, trying to get ready to have, in some cases, multiple show launches every single week for the entire year. And so we've gotten pretty good, and very intentional and specific about managing for safety first and foremost, for everybody who's a part of the process, and then making sure that we stay agile and flexible should there be a surge like we had in December with Omicron, and making sure that we're always evolving our policies and our protocols, to make sure that we can keep things moving, and we're always there to delight our customers who, regardless of what the surges are, still like fire up that Prime Video every weekend and expect us to
Perhaps more so because of it.
Exactly. As they're spending more time at home, they're actually spending more time with us most of the time, and so delighting them is very important for us. But we have to make sure that we're doing it in a way that is safe for all the cast and crew and directors and everybody who works in front of the camera and behind the camera. That's a priority for us across the entire chain, not just in the advertising.
If possible, it feels like the streaming landscape has continued to get even more crowded than maybe when we last spoke.
Yeah.
With that in mind, how are you really looking to break through? What are the challenges in marketing, streaming at this point in this current environment?
Yeah, this is the life we lead, right? I think first and foremost, we have to make sure that we really understand our customers, and we're very fortunate that we have a lot of behavioral insights. We have a lot of anecdotal insights. We have a lot of data and analytics on what our customers love. That's where it all really starts for us, and I think that's what made Amazon who it is as a company, and that's what makes Prime Video really special. Is being really obsessed about pleasing them, and then that feeds into the content that we provide for our customers. And so knowing our customers really well, make sure that we develop shows that we know will not only acquire new members, but will engage the hundreds of millions of members that we already have. And so that's where we win, is making sure that we have the right content launching at the right time and with the right tone for where they are from a cultural emotion point of view, and making sure that we get that mix right. So we spend a ton of time doing that. The second bit is like recognizing that in today's world, there's so much competition for attention, and making sure that we really deliver on creativity and innovation. And there's no substitute for that. So first of all, getting the content right. And then in today's world, in addition to being able to buy media, but it's not really about buying media anymore because a lot of people have the ability to do that. But we have to be willing to earn the attention. And sometimes that means doing things that have never been done before. For example, a couple weeks ago, we launched the title reveal for Lord of the Rings. And what we did was, for the first time ever, like actually with fire, melted and created the title from scratch. We had 50 million people watch that video, and it didn't cost us a dime in marketing. And so that's what I'm talking about. Like, yes, you want to pay for it, but at the end of the day, we have to be creative in the way that we come to market so that people stop whatever it is they're doing and they stop that scroll and go, oh my God, like, what is this about? And so being able to reach estimated 1 billion people, trended multiple times on Twitter. It was #1 trend on YouTube, all without showing any footage from the show, without any principal photography, without any talent, just sheer creativity from the team. It's more things like that that cause people to stop whatever it is they're doing and pay attention and go along with us for the ride. And it just builds anticipation for the show. And then when it finally launches, people can be really excited about it.
How did that idea even come about? Like, what was the genesis of that?
I know I love that question because I'm such a fundamental believer that for us to really break through, it's creating an environment within our teams that they feel very comfortable bringing the crazy ideas forward, and then you trusting them enough to say yes. And so in this particular situation, there were a lot of different ideas that came out in brainstorming for how we could introduce this. And the creative team said, how cool would it be if we actually forged the title, like actually melted the metal and created it physically. And we were like, okay, we've never seen that done before, but that sounds really, really cool. Go look into that and see if we can pull it off and do it in a way that still feels really elevated, do it in a way that the fans would just go gaga for, and see if you can deliver on that. And they did a lot of reconnaissance. They worked together as a team and they figured it out and they did it. And my only role in that was to say yes. So, I give 100% of the credit to the creative team at Prime Video for coming up with that and working with their colleagues to really bring it to life and delight fans in the process.
I'm Janine Poggi. I'm here with Ukanwa Ojo, Chief Marketing Officer at Amazon Prime Video. As a reminder, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them on our social channels and we will try to get to them during this conversation. We're talking a lot about innovation in marketing. And I think, especially over the past year, there are a couple of things that really have percolated, like NFTs and the rise of the metaverse and Web 3.0, that are really starting to shape what the future of marketing could look like. How are you thinking about these opportunities and where, the company can fit in, the NFT world or in the metaverse and in gaming, all those places?
Yeah, we've been thinking a lot about that. We don't have anything to share quite yet. It's something that we're thinking about across all of Amazon, not just at Prime Video. And we're actively in discussions about our way into that. Obviously, with all of our shows and the talent on our shows, we have unique rights and unique stories that we can leverage, whether it's in the metaverse or even with NFTs, but not necessarily ready to share that quite yet. But like you said, it's top of mind, not just for us as a streamer, but really for Amazon as a company. And we're looking at that, collectively and collaboratively across all the different verticals within the company.
How are you thinking about the social platforms also? Like TikTok obviously has boomed in the recent year. How are you thinking about influencer marketing, who
Yeah.
you're working with, influencers and creators, and what that looks like for Prime Video?
Yeah, that's a really great question. For us in entertainment, we start from social. If we're talking about breaking through in the zeitgeist, you really have to start from social. We see tremendous amounts of engagement on TikTok, we're on a regular basis being recognized by TikTok as one of the most engaged brands, not just within entertainment, but really across all the brands. It's a platform that's a priority for us. We also find Twitter drives a lot of cultural conversation. And so that's a platform that we spend a lot of time thinking about. When it comes to storytelling, Instagram is still a really important platform for entertainment customers. And when you talk about trailers, which is still a really important channel for entertainment marketing, YouTube is still the number one place that people love to go and discover new entertainment stories and new entertainment storytelling. And so that remains a very important platform for us. So we look at it across all the different social media platforms. They all play different roles for us. For different genres, we'll also find that different genres will pop on different social platforms. And so we think about it holistically there. I have a team on my marketing team that's exclusively focused on developing relationships with influencers. And we see that as beyond just the marketing. It's really a two-way process where we learn from influencers and then they also learn from us as an entertainment brand. And so that's a relationship that we cultivate all year round, even when it's not tied to the launch of a specific show. And I have a dedicated team that's single-mindedly focused on that. And so that's a very important go-to-market platform for us and a way in for us. And we look at that really across all of our shows. A lot of times we start from a place of social media and influencers and work back because our cast members and celebrities are, influencers in their own right. So for us, it's endemic to everything that we do. It's not really an add-on.
So circling back to the Super Bowl, how does this set the stage for marketing for the remainder of the year? Thursday Night Football, obviously a big one, moving further into the year. But what is the strategy to promote this type of content moving further into 2022?
Yeah, we have a lot of exciting stories. We see this year as a huge one for us. Like I said, we're going to be the first streamer, streaming Thursday Night Football or any national NFL package. So that happens this year. We're going to be launching Lord of the Rings this year, which is just massive, massive IP. I believe the third largest IP in the world. And so we're so humbled to have that at Prime Video and introducing that to fans. We'll have the return of some of our brand defining series this year. So The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel comes back this year. Actually, just in a few weeks, we're going to be
thrilled. I can't wait after the Super Bowl to look forward to that. It's very exciting for me.
You're going to love that. The Boys season 3 comes back this year. So yeah, when we think of our content slate for the year in terms of new shows, Reacher actually is going to be launching. That's a phenomenal IP that people are super excited about. And we're so excited to bring that to develop a series on that and to introduce that to our customers. So yeah, when you talk about whether it's new shows, established shows coming back for returning seasons, sports, live sports, and of course, movies. We had Being the Ricardos. We have it on platform this year and people are still, it's amazing the excitement that we've seen on that show with Javier and Nicole Kidman. We had Tender Bar with George Clooney and that's doing tremendously well. We have I Want You Back coming for Valentine's Day. So yeah, when you think of movies, series, live sports, I mean, the list just goes on and on. And it's a really entertainment packed year. And so knock on wood, so far so good. And we're hoping that the momentum continues through to the end of the year.
Well, Kama, thank you so much for joining us. We look forward to seeing more for sure on Super Bowl Sunday and hope to get you back here soon.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Janine.
And as always, thank you to our Ad Age crew, Lauren Chiardio, Arabella Breck, and Anna Sekula for making this live stream happen. Join Ad Age on February 8th when we bring together Super Bowl advertisers, agencies, and directors to discuss this year's big game commercials. RSVP at adage.com/in-depth Super Bowl. And keep up with all of our Super Bowl breaking news and coverage by visiting adage.com/Super Bowl. Thanks everyone for tuning in.